Good morning. Today is a beautiful day and I'm going to show you how to make risotto. But first, take a look at Fluffy, how funny he is when he thinks that I might take his bone away. Just look at him. So to make this recipe, you will need a thinly diced onion, as much onion as you like, some bouillon. I'm using vegetable, but you can use chicken or beef, and tomato sauce, and of course also rice. The way I measure rice, I take 2 handfuls per person. So you decide for how many people you're going to cook rice for. Here I'm grating some vegan cheese because I will make my rice vegan while I will prepare just a regular rice with regular cheese for my family. You will need a tea kettle to boil water and a pot. Add some olive oil and turn the heat on. The first thing that you will add to the pot are the onions. So add the onions and cook them for a while until golden. So today I'm cooking tomato sauce risotto because it's my youngest son's favorite recipe, but there are so many alternatives I can tell you about a little later. After you have sauteed the onions for a while and they're golden, then you can add the rice and toast it by stirring and mixing it with the olive oil and the onions for a few minutes. 2 or 3 minutes is usually enough. After that, you can add the bouillon powder. Like I said before, I just put a big spoonful in it. I'm using vegetable bouillon, but you can use also chicken or beef, whatever you prefer. After adding the powder bouillon to the risotto, saute it for a few more minutes, 2 or 3 more minutes, until the risotto is well mixed with the bouillon. And afterwards, you see when the water is boiling, you can start adding water to the risotto. Just add enough to cover the risotto at first and mix well until everything is well combined. When everything is well combined and you have mixed everything well, then you can start adding the tomato sauce. For this quantity of risotto, I usually add a cup of tomato sauce, but feel free to add a little bit more or a little bit less. As you can see, at this point I added the tomato sauce. However, risotto is pretty much like pasta. You can cook it with whatever you like and whatever is your favorite ingredient or ingredients. So instead of adding tomato sauce at this point, you could add sausage, or you could add mushroom and sausage, or you could add chicken and carrots. Pretty much whatever you like to eat, or just use whatever leftovers you have in the fridge. Everything works out usually very beautifully when you combine the risotto with some leftovers. Add water gradually and as it gets absorbed by risotto until cooked. Risotto usually takes between 15 and 20 minutes until it's fully cooked and ready to be eaten. Please feel free to add any questions or comments in the comments below so that I can answer to whatever doubt you might have. Remember to taste as you go and adjust to your likings, this recipe or any recipe. And also don't be afraid to make mistakes. We all learn as we go, and you will get better the more you practice. The secret of great Italian cooking is to keep things simple and to choose good ingredients. So as far as Parmesan cheese goes, I buy my boys Parmesan on Amazon, so I can put it in the information below, and you can ask your parents to buy it and send it to you. That's how I do it for my sons. Also, I changed the framing of the video camera from the top, following the suggestion of one of my sons. And as you can see, it's a little bit crooked. So you will have to be patient with me. I'm a publisher by profession, and video making is definitely not one of my strengths right now. You will notice by cooking the risotto that the rice becomes less white in the middle as it cooks. Make sure you taste it one more time when you think that it's close to being ready. This is a very simple risotto recipe for your first risotto, so it's very difficult to get anything wrong because all the ingredients are really good, and it's a very comforting recipe and dish to have, especially during the winter time. It's really, really very good, although very, very simple. I'm not sure I mentioned already that you can also freeze risotto once it's cooled down. So you can portion it and put it in the freezer. So you don't have to make it every time, and you can just take out your portion before going to class, and when you come back you just warm it up in the microwave for a few minutes and your lunch or dinner is ready. After 15 to 20 minutes the risotto will have grown in volume, and the tomato sauce looks more orange than red. So you know that's ready or close to be ready. Once the risotto is ready, you can turn the heat off. And before adding the last ingredients, I usually call my family down to the table. È pronto! That's me telling everybody the food is ready. So here I'm setting aside some risotto for me before I add the real Parmesan cheese to the risotto. I just add my vegan cheese to my serving, and then I can proceed by adding the real Parmesan. And here we go, adding the real Parmesan. Just be very generous. You know how good this stuff is, so add as much as you want, and then combine it together with the risotto until it becomes smooth and creamy. My youngest son doesn't like extra cheese on top of his serving, so usually I just portion his plate and I don't add any cheese, but feel free to add cheese and pepper and olive oil, whatever you like. Some people like to add butter together with the cheese in the pot, but I don't like that. I think it's not necessary. I'm not here to teach you how to do things perfectly in Italian cooking. I'm here to teach you how to make things that taste really, really good, even if they're not by the book. And that's what you want. You want something excellent, Italian, and quick to make that doesn't uses too many pots and accessories to make. And my husband gets the biggest plate with a lot of Parmesan cheese on top of it, and pepper, and a little bit of olive oil too. It just tastes better that way. So I hope you like this recipe, and if you want me to cook something in particular, write it down in the comments below, and I'll be happy to provide you with a very quick and easy replica of the recipe you will request. This dish is pretty well balanced. You have carbohydrates without gluten in it, and you have proteins from the cheese, and you have some vegetables from the tomato sauce. Don't forget to also have your fruits after every meal. Look at Fluffy. He loves fruits. Here he is eating tangerines. And the funny thing, he goes away because he's not sure, he wants more of it, and as he eats it, he thinks that, I think I'm gonna go back for more, and there he comes and he wants more. And this time around, it doesn't go away, he eats it right there on the spot, and then looks at me and says, hey, give me more. Okay, one more, Fluffy, and that's it. That's it. Good boy. Fluffy and I will see you next Sunday with the next recipe. Bye, guys.